is hosting this call every Friday for now years, and I have such great respect for those people who do.
An assistant professor of surgery at the medical school for 3 years as well, and I think one of the youngest to do that. Interested in breast cancer after removing so many tumors in women's breasts, which led him to start his own private practice in 1988 called the Breast Center of Austin. He's been guiding, educating, treating, and supporting women with their breast health ever since. His platform has always been about healthy lifestyle choices, including supplements, so he's been way ahead of his peers in that front. His research activity is extensive in all medical areas, but especially cancer prevention. He participates and belongs to multiple committees and advisory boards. He's written and published many articles for medical journals, and currently is one of the editors of the Travis County, Texas Medical Society Journal, which will open lots of interesting doors for him in the future at our new University of Texas Medical School being built right here in Austin. He's received multiple awards and recognitions for his medical work, as well as his people skills. As Buzz mentioned, he is just one of the most gentle, kind human beings. One of the awards is Best Doctor in America 15 years consecutively. He and his wife, Mary, who is a radiologist, have raised 4 wonderful children, 2 of whom are also going into the medical field. As we all know, doctors who become distributors in our business offer such validation and value to all of us. Dr. Winsett, affectionately called Dr. O by his team, is always gracious and willing to share his knowledge with the Nu Skin family. So I hope everyone will grab a pen and paper, because he has great nuggets to share with us of that news. And I thank you for being on the call.
Please, thank you so much. And Buzz, thank you. I am honored to be here and share with you. It really is exciting to be able to share with you the science behind you. I would offer everyone who listens to, if you don't have a picture of Maureen and Buzz or Brees from 2.5 or 3 years ago, ask them for that one and then look at them today. They are the result of you. It is amazing. I'm going to tell you some of the science behind that, and you'll learn. Before Nu Skin, I could just react to a patient who came to my office with a problem. But I also knew at this same time, several years ago, that the data was that we should be preventing breast cancers. And then I realized that Nu Skin was part of that answer. The scanner is what brought me into the business, because women who scan at the 50,000 Raman intensity count units are women who reduce their risk for breast cancer. Now the data, according to the American Institute of Cancer Research, is almost 50%. But what's even more exciting now is what we can do with youth. I'm going to describe to you calorie restriction, 32 years of science behind that calorie restriction data, and then its practical application. Mention a little bit about the defense mechanisms, aging defense mechanisms, go into what gene expression means, how clinical human data studies are used in the results of what we see with youth. But first, we need to get to the monkeys. The monkeys are where some of this data started. The actual first calorie restriction benefit paper was published almost 100 years ago. But Dr. Weinbrook and Dr. Prola at Madison University of Wisconsin have been studying our genes, all 25,000, for more than 32 years. They also have a colony of rhesus monkeys that they have allowed to feed and then divided into 2 groups and through a monthly process got one group down to 30% of the calories that the other group ate, the free eaters, if you will. What that amounts to for you and me is that for a person who normally eats about 3,000 calories, this means eating only 2,000. I would offer you to try that, but only try it with your nutritionist or other help because it's moderately difficult to achieve that without becoming malnourished. Scientists at Duke and Washington University, however, have just published an article. It was in May in the Journal of the American Medical Association about a trial in humans. And interestingly enough, what they were looking at was what would happen to the mood of these people if they were chronically calorie restricted. And the answer is their mood actually improved, which may be one of the answers to the questions that I get all the time after someone tells me their benefit to their joints or their thinking or they look better. Well, why is my husband happier? Or why do I feel better? Why do I have an overall better sense of well-being? Well, the answer may be in all of this science, not just one thing. Going back to the monkeys, those that are calorie restricted, when you look at the number that are alive, and we'll just talk about that for a minute, at the end of 30 years, in the group that is allowed to free feed, fewer than 25% are alive at 30 years. For those that are calorie restricted, more than 75% are alive. They show better coats. They're moving around better. They don't show hair loss. And that is all that allowed Dr. Weinbrook and Dr. Proa to then look at, using the calorie restriction model, what happens to those genes, some change in their expression with age. And they have little gene chips, and now the data is more than 500 million points looking at just which genes change with age. It turns out there are more than 1,000. And this is looking at the sources of aging. We're going right to, with this gene chip, things like DNA protection and repair, tissue regeneration, cellular stress response, not just stress because you had to stay up late, but the stress of the cells in everyday activity. So this is inside as well. Antioxidant defense mechanisms. We all know about the antioxidant science of taking LifePak and all of those products. However, the youth is able to turn on your own cellular antioxidant defenses. Inflammatory balance, which we will talk about in a minute, as well as metabolism regulation. These are all things that they found in those gene chips by looking at what gene was upregulated or downregulated that changed with age. Then, what is truly remarkable is that all of these scientists got together and they said, okay, how can we reset these genes with natural compounds? They went to their library of 2,500 natural compounds like vitamin D3, vitamin K2, that all in human clinical studies have been shown to be beneficial for such things like chronic disease, atherosclerosis, other things like that. And they were selected because of their individual benefits. Then they filtered these through their system to see what each one individually, in just the right dose, would do to gene expression. And they came up with those that are in use because they reset the genes. They didn't actually change the genes, but they reset the gene expression to be more optimal or more useful. Each of these individually has shown a benefit. And I will give you some examples of the individual benefits and then one of the whole benefits. When you look at vitamin K2, which is from fermented soybeans, natto juice in Japan, not a part of our diet. That's why it's in the youth. It has been shown to actually take calcium out of the arterial wall, increase the flexibility of the arteries, and activate the enzyme system through a matrix that actually builds bone, notably better than any of those bone drugs you may read about Sally Hill advertising on TV, but actually creates good bone. And that's what the vitamin K2 does that's beneficial. In addition, it does one other thing, and it freshens up collagen. As it turns out, it resets certain genes, and also it has to be just in the right amount. And in the Rotterdam study, which is a big study in Europe, and another 16,000 person study in Europe, we don't get any in our diet now because of processed foods and the way things are done. But if you have at least 32 micrograms per day, this is when you see those benefits. And in youth, there's 40 micrograms. Absolutely perfect. We have functional MRI studies that show that before and after youth, there is more brain activity. It's not just somebody telling you they can work this problem faster, but they're given a problem before they go to the MRI. Certain parts of the brain light up. After 2 months of taking youth, they go back in the MRI. They're given the same problem. More areas of the brain light up. One other example, Dr. Zoe Dralos is a dermatologist at Duke, presented this paper, which is about new skin, about youth. She's interested in the skin, and she was able to show that people who took youth for 2 months, when they did a little test shining a UVB light on their skin before the 2 months and after the 2 months, it was like wearing a sunscreen protection factor of somewhere between 7 to 10. She was excited about the dermatology part of that. The astaxanthin that you take by mouth gets to the skin where it belongs, where it works on the cellular level. That's what's exciting to me. Now, after they put all of these compounds together, they went back and studied to see if the sum was better than each of the individual tissues. And they looked at one gene expression pattern that is in the brain that has to do with cytokines, which means communication between cells of inflammation. And part of the problem with an inflammatory process is that if it goes too long, it causes damage. It frequently goes too long because of the communication breakdown between the cells. And studying this pathway that has to do with over 500 genes using youth, it reset that gene expression pathway to back just like it was when we were youthful. It really kind of makes you want to never forget to take those 2 pills every day. Reese and Buzz, thank you for allowing me to share. I hope this has helped.
Dr. Owen, yes,